We'll move on and go look at another game that is happening on Friday. This is at 7:45 and it's in St James's Park. It's England versus Italy.
They're heading the wrong way.
Going north instead of south. Yes, indeed. That's true. Like, what are we all doing? Like, as you were rightly saying, the Springboks are getting so much.
Springboks are over there right now and commenting on how difficult the conditions are and how it's going to take them a while to adjust. Meanwhile, our Celtic friends are just hanging out in our hometowns, beating the shite out of each other. It's a dubious one.
One would think, but it is. You do want the home send-off factor as well, and I get that. Obviously, their Twickenham send-off was the other week, and that's obviously went swimmingly well from their perspective. This time, it'll be our last home game against Italy. They're looking for a by the numbers, shellacking cricket score type job that they normally end up doing against the Italians. They like one thing about the English attitude and approach to the game, which is really admirable. Like, it's something that as Irish people we tend not to understand, is that like their kind of level of hubris and belief serves them well when they're up against tier 2 opposition, because they really do not struggle anywhere near as often or as in similar ways to some other teams.
Japan came to Twickenham and gave them a fright.
Except last year when Japan came to Twickenham, that was towing the line of what is hubris and what is actually arrogance, and they were being a bit ridiculous in their prep and lead up and chat, and they got duly reminded of why that's a silly idea, but they did still end up winning. And it is something when they click and when they believe they're the stronger of the two teams, they really do play some really fine rugby when that's the case. They kind of feel the pressures off them and they try to get to express themselves.
They're just in such a good place right now. It really is just a party send-off. I don't really know what they're going to pick, but either way it's just going to be about exerting that physical dominance, exploiting the weak Italian defence in the middle of the park and in the wide channels, getting just ahead of steam up in the tight areas, and then moving the ball across the pitch with some sharp passing, and there will be tries all day.
This is for them, especially if they're to pick anything like their strongest squad, but strongest side. But I don't even think they need to. But there are just mismatches all over the park here. Like, Italy's tackling is very poor in general. They may have slightly improved in that area compared to the Six Nations, but then their defensive system leaves some crazy holes from time to time when you go through the multi-phase.
Italy's defence at the best of times is floundering and crazy and porous, and England make good defences look like that. So it's a dangerous matchup for them. I don't know that England are going to get any learnings out of it, just a bit more confidence.
They're looking to ride them.
They may try somebody else as a backup 8, maybe Wilson as a backup 8.
It would be useful to do that, like, especially because they really don't have an alternate to Billy Vunipola. But like, when you have a player of that caliber, you're never going to have a replacement for him.
No, so, like, indeed.
They have their world class operators littered throughout the team. Which is something that Eddie Jones has obviously emphasised in his prep. He's saying he wants at least 5 world class operators throughout the team to go and take on the World Cup, which is like they definitely have that at least. Their strongest team is still like very, very strong, arguably up there with the best in the world. They are right up there as contenders in many people's books. They're favourites. You can see why they're riding momentum. This year's performance, the evidence this year is pretty overwhelming that they're there to play. They're there to play a physical game
and a sharp passing game with some kicking variation. And they have good distributors in there, and I suspect they'll be looking to show that off whoever they pick this weekend. From Italy's perspective, it's a curious test. It's a very similarly daunting proposition to their 2 games against South Africa and New Zealand, and so they'll just be looking to take some confidence out of it. I mean, they've got some great players. I would love to see them. I mean, it's like sacrilege to say, but it's been true for a while that Parise has been off the pace. I would love to see them move Parise to the bench and bring back Negri into the starting team, and then you have that Bram Stain, Jake Pellegrini and Negri back row that's actually very competent, very strong, can get some plays off, and that's what they're going to be looking to see. Hopefully just those guys standing up, disrupting English ball, getting 1 or 2 plays off themselves. And then I think crucially we saw a little indication into the Carlo Canna at 10, Tommy Allen at 12 axis.
We got a little bit of minutes in the last game because Canna came off the bench.
I'd love to see it again. I think Tito Tibaldi's kicking game has been loose and not great so far this year, and Canna provides a very excellent kicking option. And I think if they are to keep the score down and get some positives out of this game, pinning the ball into the corner is an avenue to do so, and then holding the ball. So for sure, just keeping it tight in terms of allowing those big men to disrupt, getting the ball deep into the corner, and then they do have, if they can get a bit of territory and possession, they do have some decent outside backs who can make things happen.
Yeah.
And I think the longer that the game goes on, and it's tight, the more Italy are going to be able to take out from it. If they can get a narrow score at half time, if they can stay in the game till 60 minutes, those are the kind of things that they're going to be. They'll take huge positives out of the game if they can do that.
For sure.
And they're not going to want what's likely to come is that big shellacking. They're not going to want to see that ahead of their pool.
Yeah.
They're going to want to see some avenues for success.
That being said, this English team have started quickly all year.
That's true. That's true.
And that is obviously Conor O'Shea's ideal scenario. Is exactly what you're saying. Like we see
that's what they're going for.
One of those gritty Italy performances where they're in the game and make it a contest, and have the home commentators getting increasingly more frustrated watching the game as the ball's being kicked back and forth, and they're not running into tries that you're meant to get against Italy.
But they have to be a little smarter for it to work, because their tight five aren't nearly as strong as even they used to be. They're a bit looser in the tight five. They have great back rows. They have some ball and hand techers
for the first time, really.
And what they need from Carlo Cana or whoever comes in at 10 is a sharp kicking game to get territory. And then from territory comes a bit of possession in territory. And then, that's where your tries come from. That's what they're looking for, but it has to be smarter than it was in the old school days of we can front it up for 60 minutes because we have a competent pack for 60 minutes, then they get tired and subs come on and we lose. It's good for them to last against this England team. It's going to take a little more brainier effort than you're used to seeing from them.
This is true. I would be very surprised if that were to come to pass, and I think even Conor O'Shea would. I'm pretty sure this is going according to script from an English perspective, which is them being far too strong for Italy, far too fast for Italy, far too good, and just scoring more tries by. They'll be
no better or worse than what Italy have coming in their pool.
No, well that's it. Like it's a good hit out from Italy's perspective to just get acclimatized to what. They're going to have to be exposed to when they're playing both the Springboks and the All Blacks. So it's getting them up to that level for sure. Whether they'll be able to live with it or not remains to be seen. From England's point of view, it's probably an okay thing. Eddie Jones is definitely he was the one. I think he was the first in the Northern Hemisphere to out and out name his 31-man squad.
He might have been the first. Full stop.
It might have been actually because it was a while ago. But so they've been together for quite a while now. They're well adjusted. They know exactly what the squad that it's going is. So there's none of that confusion or kind of talk around it. And they've also focused on getting up to match speed much quicker than some of the other sides in the Northern Hemisphere. So this is just another kind of bit of momentum that they're trying to tack on to obviously what was a great performance the other week. They're obviously looking for that confidence game, looking to get themselves buoyed up and ready for a tough challenge ahead in their pool. They have some good challenges upcoming, so this will be a good send-off for them in St James's Park, and hopefully, from their point of view, they're looking to put up a bit of score lovely tries and see the boys off.
It's nice to see St James's Park getting more rugby games
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame Newcastle are down in the Premiership.
That's true too.
It does feel like untapped territory that's eager to embrace the sport.
Absolutely.
It's a good to see England going there. Yes. We should see Ireland do a bit more of that, to be honest with you. They play so many games. We live in Dublin, so it's great for us, but they play so many games in Dublin, it's crazy.
Yes, it's true. There are other stadiums in other places around the country, and that's good from England's point of view. But I suppose we'll move on. You don't have anything to add on prediction wise. You're not seeing the upset Parise hat-trick.
I think Italy. I think Italy by 20.
Italy by 14 maybe.
Maybe one score. No. England by lots.
England by lots.
But hopefully Italy will get a few tries.
That would be nice. And they have they scored 85 points or something against Russia.
52 to 24.
That would be nice. That would be a bit annoying from an English perspective. That loose defence if they get into
and
that
England,
kind of game.
England go 52-0 up.
That would be even funnier. I suspect maybe not. But I suppose we'll move on from that one. There's not all that much to say about the England-Italy game. Thanks for watching the Overlap Rugby podcast. If you want to subscribe, there should be a button up here. Don't forget to give us a like and share with your friends. And please leave comments down below. We love the conversation. Thanks.